Hey guys, so sorry for like the weird location change, but I usually film my videos in my basement. My basement is pretty much like the place that I go for everything. But now the Olympics are on and my parents are all interested in that, so they're downstairs. So if you hear something, like maybe you hear some splashing, maybe Michael Phelps is going to town, or some gymnastics, or volleyball, yeah. That's what's going on. I need to go to bed. So this should not become a regular thing unless it turns out really good. I'm not really sure. I have my Harry Potter poster back there. That's why I set it up. Like, my bookshelf is actually right here. I filmed lots of videos, like, sometimes, like, I set the camera up here. I don't know. This is my room. It's actually extremely cluttered and I had to, like, set up my light, which is blinding me at the moment. This is my umbrella that usually goes behind it to like this is what it's supposed to look like, but see, there's no room because like I feel like I'm on a freaking TV set. There's like nothing to go off of here. But of course you can't see that, you just see the background, but you have no idea what is around here. Anyway, I have for you guys my book and movie review of Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I've been reading this like the whole month. I did my 4 books of the month and then I read this part by part and did discussions. I'll leave an annotation right here, and right here. You can totally tell that I'm looking in the mirror. I leave annotations for my discussion. They're spoiler filled, but if you have read it, you might think it's interesting. Anyway, let's start with the book review. This is spoiler free. So Fahrenheit 451 follows the story of Guy Montag. He's in a dystopian society where they burn books because they're bad. Books are evil. It was not a good time to see all the books burning. So one day Guy Montag, he comes across his next door neighbor Clarice, and she starts talking to him and asking him questions about why he does what he does, and she asks him if he's happy, and this spirals a train of thought. Look what happens. This is weird. Anyway, so Guy Montag starts to question himself and why he does what he does and why this society is like this. Starts to figure things out, and yeah, that's where the plot stuff happens. So this is a classic, and I'm not usually a classic person. They're usually pretty hard to understand as it is for most people, but I really enjoyed this. There were the parts that I had to reread just to understand. For the most part, I thought it was pretty quick paced with lots of dialogue, and I really enjoyed the story and the characters. Guy Montag was a very well developed character. We start to see how he goes from brain dead fireman listening to what the society tells him to do, and then questioning why he's doing that. Clarice had a really big effect on him. I really liked her character. As I said in one of my discussions, I kind of related her to Luna Lovegood, just the way that she acted, all quirky and standing out. We have his wife Mildred, who's pretty much dead as a doornail. She's one of the zombie people that don't really have emotion. She spends her days looking at the walls, which is pretty much just TV sets. It was a very funky society. I really enjoyed the characters. I really enjoyed the things that went on and the progression of how he starts to fix things. It's a rather short book, but it didn't feel short. It felt like a lot happens without being too long and boring. I also read this because of Ray Bradbury's unfortunate death recently, so I read this in his honor, and I'm glad that I did. So I'm going to give Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury 4 stars out of 5. So that's the book. Next, guys, let's talk about the movie. Yeah. The movie was made in 1966, directed by Francois Truffaut. Pardon my French. Guy Montag is played by Oscar Warner, and Julie Christie plays Mildred and Clarice. She has both characters. This is my first movie review, so bear with me here. So let's talk about the acting. I think Oscar Warner did a good job with Guy Montag. He definitely portrayed his character as well as anyone could. We could see him start to realize things. He was hard to understand at times, but that's just me and it's like nothing he can control. Julie Christie, she's a really good actress because I wasn't even sure if Mildred and Clarice were the same people. I mean, their voices sounded like extremely alike. She must have like played Mildred and then cut her hair to do the Clarice scenes, but I really liked her acting. She definitely did well with both characters. I think she was the best out of everyone. We also have Cyril Cusack. I don't know how to say these names, I'm sorry. He plays Captain Beatty, who is not Captain Beatty in the movie, he's just the captain. I pictured him as a lot younger than he was. Other than that, I think he did, you know, a good job. He didn't play as big of a character as he did in the book. There was a lot of stuff taken out. I really like the music and the score and how everything pretty much went really well with whatever was going on. I like the flamethrower, that was exactly how I imagined it. I do think the movie was pretty slow paced. There was a lot of stuff they added in that did not need to be added in. There's a lot of stuff they took out that should not have been taken out. I think they should have kept in the mechanical dog, they should have kept in what happened to Clarice. It all helped with the message and the symbolism of the story, and that pretty much just took it out and just made it a regular old movie, which in some ways is understandable. The world, it didn't seem futuristic, it just seemed like a weird 60s. I think they could have done that a whole lot better. The costumes were really cool, the fireman's uniform, and the TV walls, they were pretty much described as walls filling up an entire TV, but it was like not that big at all. It was just the size of a normal flat screen, which, like, what's the point of calling them a wall set if it's just a TV? For the most part, I think as a movie, it would be really hard to understand if you hadn't read it. So I'm going to give Fahrenheit 451, the movie, 3 stars. Yeah, I was pretty disappointed with it. They took out Faber. Why did they take out Faber? I'm hoping for a remake. I think they could do a whole lot better now. Maybe in the next couple of years. So see you guys in my next video, which is my July haul. So I will see you guys